Today on Alphamail Mondays, Black Rob, R.I.P. in ICU. Like, whoa, it was just a taser, bro. The weekly top 5, a Hollywood shuffle, and Rob Ford extends the reach of the po-po. Peace, power, and positive vibes. Another edition of Alphamail Mondays. Yours truly, the fear none. We have Culture Rich in the back right here. Say what's up, my brother.
Big up, big up.
Peace and power again, and the positive vibes. We thank you for subscribing, tuning in. Hit the like button, smash the icons, all the stuff you need to do. I'm really not the tech savvy guy, but you know what you need to do to get the notifications. Super subscribe is what I say more normally.
Yeah, I found that people have to hit the bell. You have to hit the bell. So you get
hit the bell,
yeah, because if you don't hit the bell, then you won't know when it's uploaded, right? And we're trying to get more diligent on the uploading at the same time. But hit the subscribe, and then there's a bell, and hit the all for notifications. You know what I mean?
There you go. All right, now getting right into it. Now this week there was some fight action going on in the UFC. We had a pretty decent fight between Kevin Gastelum and Robert Whittaker, Bobby Knuckles. Now, I thought this fight was going to go kind of the way it went. Well, in that, I'm saying that I thought Robert Whittaker was going to win. Now, I didn't think he would dominate in this fashion. Now, if he holds his game like this, makes a few more improvements, he has a chance of making this fight with Izzy Adesanya a real serious mega fight. What happened to him last time, he got knocked the F out, and it wasn't really elaborate. It was just you got knocked the F out. It was a big fanfare. Izzy just rocked the world. He became a superstar off that fight. Let's see if he gives you the fight coming up next. In boxing, this weekend had a pretty decent amount of fights in all the different genres. So in boxing, Demetrius Andrade fought Liam Williams. And people have this tendency of saying that Andrade is a boring fighter. Now, that's not what I saw. The uppercuts he was landing on Liam Williams, the fight was an easy victory, in my opinion, for Andrade, but by points. It doesn't seem like he has the power necessary to go up against a man like Charlo. I think Charlo eats his food. I think Charlo eats his food every day of the week. And even though I say Charlo beats Andrade, I still say both of them beat Canelo. So, whatever. Now, in other fight news, I know the fight everybody wants to hear about, but it was the most lackluster of them all.
Or was it? We're still talking about it.
It still was lackluster, the actual fight.
How long was it? Like a minute, 2 minute fight?
I believe it was under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So, Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. Now, Ben Askren is not a boxer. He's thrown some hands in the UFC and looked really goofy doing it, okay? He never looked good. But he's the guy that'll take a lot of punishment and then just tie you up and then squeeze you out, choke you out, or take one of your arms or your leg, or he's just one of those guys. So, boxing now, with Jake Paul, I thought Jake Paul probably had the advantage in the sense that this boxing technique, he would have the advantage. But I thought durability and since you're wearing bigger gloves, I'm figuring that you could take the punch easier, right? Yeah. Apparently not, right? So to me, but this is the main thing. You see that card? That card was a big card. When I say it's a big card, you had Regis Prograis on the card as well.
Which card? The Jake Paul card?
The Jake Paul card. You have another guy. I believe he won. I don't really tune in. I was watching UFC, to be honest. But I saw the big fights. And the Jake Paul fight was only like a minute and like 30-something seconds. So you can kind of catch it everywhere, if you know what I mean. So now, it also had Frank Mir, another UFC heavyweight champion at one point in boxing as well.
Wow.
Right? So he lost. But
I'm finding that the UFC guys, it's kind of unfair. They're not transitioning well into the boxing.
I tell people this all the time. And this is something that's interesting because people in the UFC communities always talk about, well, a boxer won't be able to beat up a mixed martial artist. And I tell them this every single time. Yes, most fights go to the ground. I understand that. I did a bit of training when I was younger. My brother does some serious training. But like, I know that most fights go to the ground. But I did Jeet Kune Do for a little while. And I'm saying, when you try to walk in on a boxer, it is very difficult. You're gonna get tapped.
We're seeing that happen.
Okay? You're gonna have to eat some shots. And boxers know how to punch. They throw a punch 100 times an hour, and they're throwing a punch, just a perfect punch after punch. So
do you think that the punch from Jake Paul, it was a good punch, but it wouldn't
have damaged somebody that was like.
So the question is, do you think the fight was a throw?
No,
fix?
Definitely not.
Yeah, I don't think it was fixed. I don't think it was fixed either.
However, okay, let me correct that. I can't say that Ben Askren threw the fight. I think something might have been up with the ref.
True.
Because the ref waved that off kind of suspiciously. If you ever watch a Ben Askren fight, he fought a guy named Robbie Lawler. And the beating that he took for the beginning of the fight, I thought the fight should have been stopped personally. But it wasn't stopped. And then Ben Askren tied him up, and I believe he choked him out, if I remember correctly.
And he won the fight?
Okay. So this one shot was nothing. This was nothing. That might even have been Ben Askren playing possum to make him think, it's a different world in MMA than it is boxing. So, realistically, I do give Jake Paul props.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. What do you think of his boxing?
His boxing is mediocre.
Okay.
Not like my little brother will dust that guy. Okay. Dust him all. It'll be flushed dust out. But I would say this. He's putting in a lot of work.
Is he?
He's 100%.
Oh, yeah?
Look how much attention he's brought.
I thought you meant as in training.
He's sparring with guys.
Okay, I don't know.
He's doing what he's supposed to do.
He's being real to the thing.
Yeah, on a level, I guess. I'm not there with him, right?
Okay.
But he's bringing attention to the sport. He's bringing in cards, highlighting people that may not have.
I never knew this dude he fought. I never knew him. So
you see, the Triller app. Now you had a show. You had Snoop Dogg performing. I believe Justin Bieber, they said, performing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, this is something, it's like a spectacle. Okay, I believe it cost, I think it was $60 Canadian or something like that.
To watch
the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it was $50 US. And, guarantee you, to go to a Justin Bieber concert, you're paying $100 probably, right? To go to Justin Bieber and Snoop Dogg, for $50? Bro, you already won.
People online were complaining because I guess the people that are there for the boxing, they're like, yo, what is this? A concert with boxing in the middle? You know what I mean? Because there was a lot of performances and all that, right? But like you're saying, this Triller, the same ones that bought Versus, they're branding it differently. They're making their own.
It's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle.
They're combining the entertainment plus the boxing.
They have to make their money. So what? You think only the boxing fans are going to tune in? They want the Snoop fans to tune in, the Justin Bieber fans to tune in, because they got to make their money. I get the model. I think it's going to be the model of the future as well.
Think so?
I think that, you see, they call it in, there's a few boxing channels that I watch, a few MMA channels that I watch, and there's something they call old media. And it really is old media. At this point, that's old media. Because they're being completely biased. They always are talking this rubbish about who they want to win the fights, and they always steer it in one direction or whatever. And now you have a whole huge outlet where something else is happening. And with Triller, they have billionaires behind it who are saying, we'll lose a bit of money over here and over here just to disrupt your market. So,
and they're creating their own market.
They're creating their own market. They're just jumping into the market.
They're creating their own. I mean, they're getting. I want to watch a Triller fight because I get a concert, right? Instead of just a pure HBO fight. A man would be like, is it on Triller? I'm not a boxing fan. I'll wait till the Triller brings a fight. I get to see Snoop. Snoop's commentary is kind of funny more time.
I have to agree with that perspective.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that perspective. I have to. Because it's true. I believe it's true. And with that, that's that for that. So some tragedy has struck. Last week, tragedy struck. This week, tragedy struck. Black Rob, famous bad boy artist, and people would say that he's a legend, I guess, because he did have a huge song.
Yeah, I don't know about legend, but R.I.P. to Black Rob.
Black Rob. He was in some bad condition and shouted out DMX.
Oh yeah.
When DMX was on his way out or something like
Transitioning, let's say.
And to me, this is getting really strange. How old was Black Rob?
51. It's at 51.
So 51.
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of, you know, like, this is...
Black entertainers don't live past 51, 50.
Well, let's see if we can make a couple live past 50, right?
Yeah. R.I.P. though, man.
R.I.P. Now, this is the thing with Black Rob. For me, this hits me a little bit hard in a way, but not in the way that other people would think, because there's a song that I made when I was younger, and, well, obviously, every moment we're older, right? But I mean, back in early, it was 1999, and it was released in 2000, and I made this song. I was part of a group called Brass Tacks.
Big up Brass Tacks.
And now, so Brass Tacks, you know what I'm saying? So, it meant before reaction, analyze situations, serious, talking all conscious knowledge in a sense, right? Now, we were like the first, I guess, conscious artists in the area, whatever, right? But I made this song in about 2000. And the reason that I made this song is because I heard Black Rob's song. Basically, when I heard like, whoa, I was disappointed. Big time, okay? Because I'm listening to rap music get degraded. And this is the time period now where we're breaking into the industry. And now they're trying to tell us that conscious music and music with a message doesn't sell. And I'd be constantly arguing with these guys saying, well, look, the ones with the message are the ones that are winning the award. Like, just worry about marketing the stuff and we'll worry about making the stuff. So like Whoa comes out. I'm like, hold on a minute. So dude didn't even rhyme with another word? He rhymed whoa with whoa? Like, what's going on here? Like, this is what you're gonna do? So then I said, okay, you know what? If you're gonna use the same word, if that's what you're gonna do, I'm gonna use the same word and I'm gonna do it better than everybody. That's what I said I was gonna do, right? So I made a song called W5H.
Our thing is that we have to become aggressive scholars.
Who was my progenitor? Who pollutes my retina? Who can solve the riddle of the Sphinx, another enigma? Who was there when all have gone? Who crumbles the cookie? Tell me who can make an ambassador out of a mere rookie? Is there anyone who can satisfy my curiosity? Who was it that hung and crucified men freely? Who was it that got crucified back in BC? Who sells nicotine and still walks easy? Who would eat all of my food and leave me with a freezy? To divide in three. Who might not even be the crux of the issue. So to get truth, it seems I must continue and question the situation.
This song was inspired by Black Rob's song.
Okay.
Even though I wasn't, maybe let's say, what the hell's going on here? But then now when you go and listen back to the song is wicked though. I was just a guy that was completely obsessed with lyrics. What are your lyrics saying? What are your lyrics saying? I didn't even care about the beat that much. What are your lyrics saying? Black Rob influenced me to make the song that made me notorious in my city. Right?
Black Rob, the bad boy. So everybody was saying, oh, why isn't Diddy, when he was in the hospital, everybody's on about, oh, is Diddy helping him? And I didn't know how to feel about that because, you know, I mean, Diddy doesn't have the best past. Let's just call it that because he has, I don't know what it is with Diddy, man. All these guys leave him and turn to Jesus or turn to some kind of spiritual realm.
The running joke was this, right?
I don't know what it is.
Okay, but there was a running joke. How many artists from Bad Boy have more than one album? Don't you remember that was a running joke?
Oh, I don't remember that joke. But
that was, yeah, you're younger than me.
Yeah. So, well.
So we're showing our age here. But there was a running joke. I remember from the Locks came with their first album, under Bad Boy. After the Locks left, the running joke was, how many artists have more than one album with Buffy? And so it's kind of like a cookie cutter thing. So you have your formula set up. Anybody could come into this formula and make money. If you keep them on, then you're gonna have to spend more money on them. But if you just keep rotating the flex, you know what I mean? You're spending less money and you're still making the same money. right? So it's like, you know, it was just business. So like with
but
Puffy, I don't know, like
people are suggesting, I mean, he's not responsible for him, man. You know what I mean?
You know that those guys saw a lot of stuff, right?
I'm sure they
Under
did.
Puffy?
I'm sure they
You didn't
did.
hear about
I'm sure
Christopher Williams?
Anyway, let's not get into that. I'm sure they've seen a lot of stuff under Puffy for sure. Him and Usher.
Okay,
But
pause,
anyway-
man. How you say you've seen stuff under Puffy? What do you mean?
You know what
I
I'm
do,
saying? But he's
You
not.
gotta be careful, all right? So
He's not responsible for Black Rob
allegedly.
for the rest of his life because he did business with
Of
him
course
back in.
not. Of course not.
So I didn't like that kind of narrative. Like they're always trying to make.
But okay, but when you have the ability, right?
Yeah.
Okay. To create an artist union, to have something where these artists, because these guys made a lot more money sometimes for people, for companies, than 10 people would make for a company.
Like Woe made some money.
Okay?
Like Woe was
So,
a big song.
I'm sure this song made $1 billion.
Yeah.
I'm sure this song made $1
Close?
billion.
Maybe close.
All around the world,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure this song made $1 billion. Okay? So Black Rob made a lot of people money. He helped a lot of people make money. So you could at least have some kind of pension for these guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Black Rob, your family, anybody that was close to him, I do have an attachment to Black Rob because of what I told you earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is I'm going to remember this like it kind of hit me like differently than a lot of the other stuff hit me because I wasn't as connected. So your family, all of your fans, everybody that you're attached to and anybody that felt the vibration that you brought, like, whoa, R.I.P. and maximum respect. And that's that for that. So today, we're going to talk about, I thought it was a taser, bro. I thought it was a taser, bro.
Thought it was a taser.
Thought it was a taser. Okay. I'm not that educated in the way that police handle their business. I'm not. But I'm pretty sure that the taser is on another side from your gun. I don't think the taser and the gun's on the same side. You knew what you drew. But once again, it's, oh, you didn't like that? Sorry. Once again. Okay? Now, you've been charged with second degree murder, I believe, or
She didn't get a murder charge?
She didn't get the full murder, no.
Okay.
She didn't get the M. But, you know, what do you expecting?
No.
I didn't even expect her to get that. Manslaughter. Sorry, second degree. Manslaughter, right? So, this lady here, Kim Potter, that thought it was a taser, bro.
After 26 years on the force.
That thought it was a taser, bro. Has a second degree charge and dude's dead. Dude's dead. Family destroyed. Once again. Do you think she's going to serve time? Probably not. Probably going to get off. And they're going to say, oh, technicality. Oh, you didn't like that? Sorry. Like they do every single time. So, as I said, there are solutions. But I don't get into those type of things here. And you would have to come and see me and give me some dough so I can protect the whole family and friends that I hang around with because I'm not going to be the martyr here for this. Really?
Same thing again. I mean, this one, I'm going to be honest. I'm not trying to downplay anything, but it's, like you said, it's the same formula. This one is a bit suspect because, all right, this one I'm hearing, and I'm not sure if these things are confirmed, but that this young man was taught by the girlfriend of George Floyd.
And what had happened?
And it's, again, in Minnesota.
Somewhere close to George. They said something like 7 blocks away or some kind of nonsense.
And I mean,
from George Floyd.
and I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to downplay the loss of a life.
Never.
Never will I ever do that. So a young black life at that.
But come on.
But we know that everything we see on TV is BS. You know?
And coincidence, people will say coincidence, but a coincidence is actually a coincidence.
Right.
So that means that it's directly related. People get the thing misinterpreted. It is a coincidence.
Right. So let's not. I'm not saying let's not be reactive. Let's not be reactive, and let's sit on it for a couple of days and look into what's really going on. Because if you've watched the movie, the Judas and the Black Messiah, you see there's a lot going on. Like you said, COINTELPRO is not just for the Black Panthers.
Black Panthers.
So that's still going on now, and a lot of things we see on the news are scripted. So
wait. We saw some sergeant, or what was he? A sergeant guy?
The army sergeant in the van.
In the van, right? You see the license plate was still visible when you get close. So when they get close, all they have to do is look at the license plate, go type everything in, and then done. But no.
So what did it escalate to? Was he like abused or something? I didn't really see the video.
All of that was abuse.
Wow.
That was all abuse. That was mental abuse, verbal abuse, and physical abuse. That was all kind of abuse. But I don't know if he got beaten up.
No, I don't think he got beaten.
And one of the officers got fired, apparently. One of them.
Yeah.
Okay? But the one who sprayed the pepper spray in his face, like, how much times?
He got
how
pepper
much
spray
times?
too?
How much times?
Wow.
The guy just was like, he's shaking it. Like, he's like, nope, we're going to get you. Like, it was very excessive. But interestingly enough, after watching that, right? This guy's a cousin of Eric Garner or something like that, or a family member
So
of Eric
he's
Garner.
tied to another.
So it's like, wait, bro. So as we would say, bro. That's that for that. So a little bit about our hometown hero.
Not mine, bro.
Mr. Ford. Dougie. Bro.
Wow.
Bro. So now, this guy's come and just said, yeah, your charter, right, Sky?
Well,
No.
for people that might be watching us that don't live in Ontario,
Not Rob Ford. I keep mixing them up because I don't watch these guys.
Yeah.
Doug Ford.
Our premier of Ontario.
Our premier.
Basically
Okay?
like our governor, let's say.
And interestingly enough, I won't get into that part. But I won't get into that part another time maybe. Interestingly enough, there's connections. Okay? So Doug Ford now has decided to say, you know what? Away with your Charter of Rights. How do you plan on doing that, bro? So now, what he said is that there's going to be checkpoints. And that police now have the authority to stop you when you're walking or when you're driving to ask you where you're going because the imaginary friend is out to get you. And if you don't know who the imaginary friend is by now, you haven't been watching, but we're talking about Mr. Cavid, okay? So these individuals are coming out here and trying to say that they have authorized police officers to stop you when you're driving, to ask you where you're going.
Or why you're not in the house. Because there's a stay-at-home order.
Did they do this? Did they talk about this in Germany? How they did it to the Nazis?
It's the exact same framework,
Germany,
man. It's
right?
the exact same thing, man.
There's a one difference, though. And I don't mean to say it like this, but enough man here have not been able to survive with the COVID, with the COVID paycheck vibe that you're giving, okay? Enough man sell drugs. And so those guys are carrying. You're putting the police officers in a very dangerous, precarious position. Of course they're not going to enforce it. For what? Nobody's doing nothing. It's an invisible agent. He didn't... Actually, did you hear, bro?
What?
They brought in the alien. You know that?
Brought in the alien?
Remember I told you before? Sorry, we're just going to get to a little aside here between me and Rich here, okay? Remember I said to you earlier that, not earlier today, but before, that they came with the imaginary friend.
Okay.
So they didn't even have to come with Project Bluebeam suspending Jesus Christ from the clouds.
Shit.
And then they didn't have to come with alien invasion. Remember I told you that? Well, they just came with an imaginary friend. Bro, they all came with the alien invasion.
Yeah, the alien invasion is coming. I seen that last week.
The NASA said that these things are real. From
the Pentagon confirmed that video was of a UFO.
So anyway, right? So with the way that you guys have brought your Gestapo treatment to this region, the police officers have said, we're not really going to enforce it.
There's two things I catch with this play, and I don't know which one is right, but I'll tell you both. I think there's one play where there are good cops. And
definitely, I think the majority are good.
Majority of them are good, and they want to follow and serve the people because they are of the people, right?
I'll just interject quickly, but a lot of them are good, but still don't know. They just follow.
Of course,
So
they're doing their job.
So continue.
But along with being a cop, they're also husbands, fathers, uncles, and sons, daughters, and all that. I think they're catching on to a bit of the play, and they're realizing that I'm a police officer, but I'll still be underneath the same control as another person, maybe with a better job, but I'd still be under the same control. And letting this imaginary friend dictate how the people in power are going to be able to treat me and my wife or my husband or whoever, I'm not completely with that. You know what I mean?
I completely agree.
Or this is my second thought on it, is that I think the most important thing not the most important thing, but one of the important things we need to note with what happened in Ontario, where Friday night they told us there's a lockdown and that police would have certain powers, and then by let's say Saturday afternoon, Sunday, it changed back to where, and all of the populace was aware of it. News now and information is traveling at a lightning speed. You understand?
Way too fast.
You understand?
So we're talking about old media just a moment ago.
This new media and this new system of information is allowing it to where maybe in this case we got lucky. The police said, no, we're not doing it. But tomorrow if they decide something else, that's it. It's an emergency action. There's no voting. There is no voting.
But okay, but that's the whole play. When was there voting? I don't know if you remember, but I think it was Mel Lastman was in office them times there. And they talked about a mega city.
That's the mayor of Toronto.
As a mayor.
Oh, right?
Yeah. You know who he was, right?
Mm.
He was literally bad boy.
Mm.
He owned bad boy. The store in Canada.
Mafioso.
That man, there's a bad boy. This man legitimized the term bad boy. So you see, Mel Lastman said, let's vote for a mega city. Do we want to have a mega city or not? And the vote came up and said no. And whenever we said no, we said, we're still having a mega city. So it's like, you should have known back then. That happened a long time ago, right? Yeah. So with Rob Ford trying to extend this more reach. I told you I don't watch these things. Mm-hmm. So with Mr. Ford watching trying to extend the reach of the police, thank you for correcting me as well. Mm-hmm. You're putting your officers between a rock and a hard place. Number one, there's a lot of stress, but this is also a last-ditch attempt. Now, I'll say this, and algos and all the things that could try to whatever, but I don't think you'll be able to really navigate this one that optimally. But I have individuals that are around me in my circle, okay, and some of them have gotten tickets for breach of this bylaw. Okay, not this particular bylaw.
The COVID bylaws.
But COVID bylaws, okay? And a number of them, when they went to the court to fight it, where was the ticket? They didn't even have it registered in the court system.
Wow,
it wasn't even there. Okay?
Wow.
So I do know that a lot of people will just get scared to say, pay the ticket, just pay, because I'm busy and I gotta pay, I can't go to court. But chances are the thing ain't even there. All right? So, do what you're doing, bruh. And we're going to do what we're doing. And we'll see who comes out on top at the end. I don't really pay too much attention. As you see, I don't even know the guy's first name like that. And you don't even know. I'm kind of connected to, you know what I mean? I run a business. So, whatever, right? People like shea butter.
Let me answer this. There's Ford, and he's a conservative, right?
Sure.
Basically like a Republican or conservative.
I guess so,
Same shit. The other parties and the other leaders of the oppositions, let's say, NDP we have up here and we have Liberals, are saying that he's lost his way of governing. He can't govern. He's lost his way of running the province.
How? How did he lose his way?
Well, when they say that, I'm not thinking that they're saying, oh, he's lost the way of serving the people. I'm thinking they're saying he's lost the way of telling these people what to do and making them listen. Because that's what government is. They're saying, yo, if we were in power, we could have done this, and we would have no problem. Why do people not?
Good. This one is a hard sell, bro.
This one is a hard sell.
This one is a hard sell.
This is a hard sell.
Like, bro, you're telling me Boogeyman. You're literally telling me Boogeyman.
Well,
and so you said Boogeyman last February. Now we're in April of the next year.
Yep.
And you're still telling me Boogeyman?
I seen Liv. You know Liv in Miami? The club?
No.
Packed.
Where's Miami?
Packed.
Where's Miami?
We can't even
in
go.
Florida?
Bro.
Florida didn't shut down the way that okay, how much that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm trying to show you that.
Okay, they're making this look, I'm just gonna put this in a way where if you get it, you get it. Hopefully if you don't catch what I'm throwing, you gotta buy a bigger mitt, okay? But you see in certain states like Texas and Florida and other certain states that like these guys don't play. The whole objective for the longest time, why didn't even have rap music running here properly? BET came here late. Why? They don't want here to turn into another New York. That's why. They don't want Toronto particularly to turn into another New York. We know this already, okay? But you keep pushing this envelope, bro. What do you think will happen? And everybody's on the same flex. You see what's happening in every city. Every major city around the country is saying no. On Saturdays, they're saying no, and they're outside, right? So, right side of history, left history, or maybe right side of history and left behind. Who knows, right? So anyway, this is a breach. We have a gentleman that I got to big up right now, Nia Singh. He's a lawyer. He did actually one of the albums that I produced it in his studio before he became a lawyer. And now he's dealing with a lot of human rights issues.
Okay,
he helped a lot of people. I don't know if you remember Too Crazy Mental. He had a record label and studio and whatnot. But Nia Singh. Nia Singh is a lawyer now. Big him up to the max. And he was on the radio today, actually. I believe it was 89.7, talking about the rights that have been taken over.
Speaking of justice warriors or fighting against.
Well, I wouldn't say Nia's a social justice warrior. He's an actual lawyer that's just helped. A lot of cases that came out with.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
Okay. Speaking of people fighting for the rights, there's a youth, the white youth man with the big teeth, and he has the tattoos. Them.
And he's stick up.
And he's stick up. I don't know his name.
Chris Guy.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Hugs Without Masks.
Yeah. What's that?
I believe that was the name of the organization that he was with.
Okay.
Right?
What do you think of that guy?
To be honest with you, I'm affiliated peripherally. There's always 6 degrees of separation, right?
Okay.
There's probably about 2 degrees or 3 degrees of separation between me and that individual, all right? Now, somebody got to do it. Now, there's certain things that we've been talking about in the Moore Science Temple and being part of certain conscious groups and whatever. I remember I told you brass tacks is I'm a teenager back then talking these things. We saw this is coming up. And so the free man on the land movement, the sovereign movement, this was all what we were saying 20 years ago, okay? And we were trying to hit people to this about how they're just violating our rights and we have the right to travel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, we're just, we're kids.
So he's now the face of that.
So now he's basically the face of that.
Yeah, okay.
Which is fine because people are listening to him. He has a large following now and he's traveling and doing what he's doing.
Okay.
However, there's certain things that I would say, look, and this is just the way it goes for everything, okay? Everything. Once you have to go into business for yourself for a while and you've had to understand that people are coming to eat your food left, right, and center all day, but you still have to take things home to make sure that Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and the little bears are good, okay? You realize this quickly. If you were really a threat, they wipe you out. Because if you came to take the food off of my children's table, good luck for you. I have something for that. Because every man is supposed to have something for that, right? So now, if he's really being that much of a disruption, right? So I don't really know.
Well, I was just asking because
I don't really know.
He's
but
out there.
At the same time,
But I'll give him his.
I applaud him. To the
I
max.
give him his just.
He said something about how they're trying to give him the rights to take over the banking institutions. You ever see that thing?
I never seen that.
Something about he's going to be the treasurer or something. I'm like, listen, bro.
Yeah, I think
you gotta chill. That talk, I heard that talk back in like 2008 with man saying yes, and you know what? I claim to be the prime minister because these guys were not.
Okay, well, I don't know nothing about that. But I know they deplatformed him as well. He lost his everything, right? So going along with your narrative, maybe he is getting too much influence. And
well, they don't just deplatform you.
Yeah, I know, but right? That's one of the steps.
So that's definitely one of the steps, and he has definitely proved to be a threat in that sense, and he has shown people, look, you do not have to comply, and it'll be okay, So for that, I have to applaud him. Like, because who else is doing it? I just told you guys, I'm not going to be the martyr doing it. Okay? So if I'm not going to be the guy, and I know there has to be guys that do that, whoever put him in place, or if he put himself in place, whatever happened, I applaud Chris Guy and his efforts, and I hope that he can find an alternate way to get his platforms back or get his voice back. Because I'll tell you this. Chess all day. So if you know that you have to say certain things or reach people and code it in a way, look, the Bible is coded. Okay? When you think they're talking about the land of milk and honey, you think there's a land of milk and honey? Okay, it's coded. The Helios Biblios, it's a codex. All right? So there's a way for us to drop the science. Remember the times in slavery where they had the songs, the slave songs, the hymns and whatnot. And the hymns would show you the directions of how to get out of here and go to the next spot and free up yourself. So we can't just we have to understand that we're on these guys' platforms. So we have to make sure that we're playing chess all day, because it's play or be played. And that's that for that. Today we have a weird phenomenon going on, and I have to say it's weird. Okay, we were talking about a codex moments ago. Okay, the Helios Biblios or the Holy Bible. Helios Biblios means the Sun Book, right? Or the Book of the Sun. Okay, now when was that book published? The regular King James version. Do you remember what they tell you?
What in the 1600s?
1611, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Book of Revelations has been around the way that it is right now that you read it. From 1611. 2011 would have been 400 years, okay? We're at 410 years right now where you've heard about the mark of the beast. You've heard about this thing they want to inject in you that you can neither sell or buy or travel or operate. And people that are saying, give me the mark of the beast. Even though we know that, okay, cell phones. I already said it was going to be a chip placed in your hand or in your head. This is the mark of the beast already, okay? But now they've talked about nanobites and all kind of devices and technology and things that they're going to be putting in these syringes to navigate your body and make you susceptible to their programming.
So the vaccine is also another one of those things, Mark?
Well, to talk about the nanotechnology, right? So the nanotechnology is based on what? Some type of a microchip, maybe? That's what it's
no, nanotechnology doesn't necessarily mean microchip. It just
I'm not saying it means
small,
microchip.
Yeah, it means small particles or whatever. Nanoparticles.
Small, but I think it's machinery they're putting in there.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I don't have the science on that, but I've heard about them putting nano machines into these devices. And machines, as far as I know, have microchip things.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know that much about that realm to say this, but it's like, it's not that much of a stretch or a reach. It's pretty, like, they're putting a machine inside of you that you cannot operate if you don't have it.
Also the Amazon One. We haven't talked about this on the show.
The Palm.
This is Zoe. Just like you, she uses lots of different cards and IDs to get through her day. What if all Zoe needed was herself? Introducing Amazon One, a free service that lets you use your palm to quickly pay for things, gain access, earn rewards, and more. Let's say you're grabbing your favorite coffee beverage, or heading into the office, or checking out. Just hover your palm and you're on your way. It's as easy as that. Sign up is free and takes less than a minute. All you need is a credit card, your phone number, and your palm. That's it. Since your palm is unique and can't be lost or misplaced, you can get things done quickly and securely. And with more experiences on the way, Amazon One will help you get even more done, simply by being you. Now, Zoe has more time to do what she loves, indoor skydiving. Enter, identify, and pay with Amazon One.
Okay, so they're literally volunteering for the mark of the beast, even though Judaism, Christianity, and Islam would make up, I would say, roughly 4 billion people on this planet. So half of the planet are under these codes, okay? Where there's a direct message about mark of the beast and Satan. But now we bring an imaginary friend, call him David. And now, as I told you before, these religions have nothing on that. David has the most followers. David is the biggest religion that we have ever seen. Ever. And this is not it's a serious thing. Because the Judeo-Islamic world has said, yep, get the mark of the beast. Get the mark of the beast. That's some bizarro world things.
And like you said before, the Bible is coded, and the Bible is a well-written script. We can get into all of that and all that, but
it's a decent plagiarism.
Yeah, it's a script passed down through the generation, so they carry out the next aspect of the agenda.
That's a decent plagiarism.
All right, so yeah, so I don't know. A lot of people that were in church, well, before when church was open, a lot of them, I'm sure they know about this mark of the beast.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Okay. There's been how many movies made about it? Blockbuster hits about the mark of the beast. And you're just saying, yeah, give me the mark of the beast. Weirdos, man. Weirdos. And that's that for that. So now we're going to get into a fun part of the show. It's been requested. And, we're going to have to give him 4 love this week. Because I know that he thinks he got a week in there where he won something. But the top 5.
You talk the toughest because you're on camera. Go on.
Bro, that's why you could talk the toughest, because you're not on camera. They can't see your face. You know what I mean? But, okay. Today we're going to discuss the top 5 stand-up comedians.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5.
So you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first. I went first last week.
Yes,
we'll alternate.
Yes, you did. We'll alternate.
All right.
We can flip a coin if you want.
No, I'm good. No football game here.
All right, cool. So my number 5 guy here.
Before we get into it, let's qualify a bit. We're not really talking about, we said stand-up specific, not... Because a lot of them have movies and stuff.
Yes, but no.
Just their stand,
Yeah.
Just their stand-up.
Movies are one other thing, but we're talking about their stand-up performances.
Yeah. Okay.
So, my number 5 guy, Bill Hicks.
Bill Hicks?
Bill Hicks.
I'm surprised. I know Bill Hicks.
Why are you surprised at Bill Hicks?
No, go on.
Bill Hicks is a legend.
Okay.
Now, Bill Hicks, to me, he's right up my alley. The vein of his comedy... He's extremely cynical. And he's dealing with politics.
A lot of time, yeah.
And we know that the politics is all right, left, the same thing. So this guy is a murderer. Religion, politics, and popular culture too.
Yeah.
He was one of the guys that I would say a vanguard. Like at this time, people weren't doing it like him. You had Sam Kinison, but Sam Kinison was he would be like this, and then they were all that crazy. You know what I mean? You had the guy that used to cut up fruit and whatever and be wild and crazy. But he would be wild and crazy
Intellectual.
in an intellectually contained way.
Yeah.
He would do crazy stuff with his voice, but have the mic like right here.
Okay.
Amazing. Bill Hicks, number 5. Be ready to be smashed, eh?
Okay, but I
This
want
week you're getting last show.
before hear me now. Bill Hicks, you heard the conspiracy with Bill Hicks. I gotta bring it up, bro.
Okay.
Wait, let me finish. For those who don't know, a lot of people.
Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people. It was one guy.
There's
that
people.
started saying this.
There's people that believe that.
And that guy said a lot of things.
Can I finish? Please? So,
Disclaimer.
a lot of people have said, all right, to be fair to whatever you're coming with, people have said that Bill Hicks.
Person that said.
I say, listen carefully. People have said that Bill Hicks is actually Alex Jones.
Bro. You see, now this is okay.
People have said that Bill Hicks
He's just doing this
is
shit
Alex. I'm not on camera. I could do it. Like
for clicks, you know. We're not clickbaiting nobody here. I remember
What? I'm telling a lie? Has it not been said?
I remember I came across that information at least it was probably about a good like 8 years ago, 9 years ago, and the guy was like, "Hey, look at the facial recognition."
Yeah, they do the
technology.
Gucci. They do the Gucci man. They do the Gucci man.
That's
Sync
like,
up the
bro, what level of biochemistry or physics have you successfully completed in the post-secondary?
All right. Anyway, you know me. I like to stir it up.
Yeah.
All right. So your number 5 is Bill Hicks.
You better stir it up because your thing ain't gonna be
surprising. Can I finish? So, okay. So my number 5. I'm not saying nothing about Bill Hicks. That was
Bill
okay.
Hicks is a top tier.
This is a tough one. My number 5. I'm going with Corey Holcomb. Okay, now Corey Holcomb is a guy where if you ever watch Corey Holcomb, you got to be able to stomach Corey Holcomb, but he's funny as F. You understand? Corey Holcomb, the way he writes, man, and his cadence is just
The timing.
The timing is amazing. And the way he's like, I would say he's like a sinister comedian in a way because some of the stuff he says is just so dark.
See, there's a guy,
but it's so funny.
Kevin Samuel. You know that?
Yeah.
Guy?
Yeah.
He's been saying the stuff that Kevin Samuels is saying now.
Years ago.
From years
ago.
But making you die of laughter.
But it's hilarious, man. Corey Holcomb has to be on my list.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my number 5. Who you got?
I have to give you kudos for that. So number 4. Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. Yeah, you love Bill Burr. I know that. Bill Burr.
Now, Bill Burr to me is a guy, yes, he gets excited and animated. But what he said, the thing, like, and might be a little bit of a misogynist in his comedy as well. But when he said this thing about whose jobs are harder, men or women, and then he said, any job you could do in your pajamas. Every time I watch the guy, I get a belly laugh. Like my laugh from my stomach, I laugh. Like it's a laugh. And he has a lot of comedy specials.
He has enough specials,
So like when I watched him, I laugh hard at him. I've watched probably his comedy specials, every one of them, probably about minimum 10 times each.
Yeah.
Minimum. And then now he has a show called F is for Family. I laugh.
Is that a cartoon?
Show.
That's a cartoon. Yeah. I didn't know that was him. So.
That's him.
That's him, man.
That's like an anecdote of his life or something like that.
Okay.
Or an expression of his life. I think Bill Burr is a top tier comedian.
Well, he's a great writer. Great writer.
I think
he's very clever. Yeah.
To me, I think he's one of the best. I'm
not gonna say nothing about that pick. Good pick. But the only thing with him is after a while, I just get kind of worn out by him because of
his animation.
The yelling. But he's very good.
Because I yell a bit too.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So my number 4.
Better come correct.
I'm gonna come with. Why are you talking correct? Can I finish?
Can I finish?
Can I finish, please?
Stop this. Can I finish?
Can I finish, please?
I'm the end. You don't finish, I will finish. Okay? Fuck what can I finish?
I got the mic here.
Fuck up.
All right. Cedric the Entertainer. Boy, Cedric the Entertainer is one of those. He's one of the kings of comedy, and between him and Bernie Mac, I'm gonna be controversial and say I go with him over all of the other.
I go Bernie Mac.
I know.
I go Bernie Mac.
I know. I understand that. I'm not gonna say nothing about that, but right.
Fair. You like Seinfeld and them things.
The thing I like about Cedric is that he could be clean and he can be raunchy. He has a little bit of that physical comedy when he's ready. He can, do a little motions and stuff like that. Very relatable comedy. I mean, some of the stuff he does is kind of, repetitive and blasé. But for me personally, if I'm turning on I'm quantifying it by who am I turning on to make me laugh. And Cedric gets me there. You know what I mean? Cedric is my number 4.
Number 4, eh?
Mm.
So my number 3, I'm going to have to put 2 people in here. I'm not going to go 2.
I have no problem. I have no problem with that.
Because the 2 people that I want to put in are so diametrically opposed, but I would rate them the same.
Okay, who you got?
Can I rate them the same? Yeah, because the stand-up part, right? Yeah, okay. We're going to do this. You did 2 last week, was it?
I have no problem, brother.
So
Go
I'm
ahead.
doing 2.
Go ahead, man.
So I'm going to say Cat Williams
Okay.
and Bill Cosby.
Wow. Okay.
Okay?
Express.
Both of them make me laugh.
For sure.
Like laugh. When I watch Bill Cosby specials from the 70s, my daughters could sit down there and watch that with me and we're laughing. And I don't know, man. I can watch his stuff over and over again, Bill Cosby. And just continue laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like I laugh at the same part. It's genuinely funny then, to me. Because it's not like I like the same part. Like, I know what you're going to say, and I still laugh.
Yeah.
Cat Williams, same thing. Cat Williams, but the comedy is such a different vein of comedy.
Different. Yeah. Right? Oh, God.
But you see, the level of laughter that I would say in par that they are on, for me, I would say is the same. And when it comes to the stand-up department.
Okay.
For me.
Well, Cat Williams is my number 3. Right. So there you go. I Cat Williams is a man that I don't care what nobody says. He set the pace for Kevin Hart to be successful. You know what I mean? He was in the same kind of vein as Kevin Hart in terms of a little short comedian with a lot of expression. But Cat Williams was bubbling, and then Kevin Hart took it over when Cat Williams got X'd out the industry for whatever reason. So they gave Cat Williams spoils to Kevin Hart. This is my opinion. Might not agree with me.
I agree with you 100%.
Okay, so Cat Williams, just like you're saying, he makes me laugh. His first few specials,
they were like,
yeah.
How much times you watch them?
And I laugh at the same. I can repeat the jokes. To me, a comedian is not great unless you can remember the jokes. Like,
bro, and you know when you say it, you're not saying it as good as them. You're still not saying it as good.
You gotta eat. Like, I don't know my favorite Tiffany Haddish joke. I don't know her stand up. Sorry, but
these algorithms, bro. This guy's trying to make me be that guy.
Like, a lot of comedians.
We already see who's on the list. Okay, so what are you doing, bro?
But yeah, Cat Williams, my number 3. Who you got? Number 2.
Number 2. Okay, so now this one here, he was on your list already.
Okay, go on.
Corey Holcomb.
He's your number 2.
Number 2.
Oh, okay.
That guy's stand up is currently, his stand up is the best. Currently. Okay. In my opinion. For people who are alive right now, nobody has a better stand-up routine than Corey Holcomb.
Okay.
Because he tells you like it is. He's another Kevin Samuels. As we said, he's been saying the Kevin Samuels stuff from time.
Years, yeah.
But what he's been saying it like... You remember his abortion jokes, bro?
No, come on, man.
Who could do an abortion joke?
I'm laughing and I'm feeling guilty and looking around like, should I laugh? And I'm by myself.
I wouldn't even watch the comedy around girls.
You can't, man.
I can't watch that with my daughters.
But I've watched that with women and they laugh. So that's why I'm like, but they're like, oh my God. But they're laughing. They're still laughing.
I've watched that by myself and seen women in the crowd laugh. Okay, Corey Holcomb, I think, because he's such a real dude, the breaks that he will be getting are minimized. He's teamed up with guys like Nick Cannon and certain guys who can potentially give him a break, but they know who you are, but I know who you are. You have a whole 5150 nation following you. I'm part of the nation. I subscribe and I watch every Tuesday, and the people who know love you, and you know that your stand-up is the tops. Right. But you'll understand why you got 2 when you hear my number one.
Good pick. I love Corey Holcomb. All right, my number 2, and this was tough as hell. My number 2 is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, man, I think he's our this generation's best comedian, in my opinion. Everybody knows Chappelle's story. Everybody knows from the Chappelle Show or whatever. But if you ever watch his stand-up, man, like he has this element of him where it's very intelligent, but he can get very silly and stupid, you know what I mean, with certain jokes, but equally as funny. He's become such a good storyteller. A lot of times, I think he's up on the stage improvising, man.
Listen, his storytelling is superior.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and he's just naturally gifted, doing it since he was 12, 13 years old in the club. So he's well seasoned. Comes from a family of well-educated people, so you can see where he gets his intellectual type of style from. Yeah, man, Dave Chappelle, my number 2.
Now before I give you my number 1, I'm gonna give you a little Dave Chappelle story. Dave Chappelle, at one point, was my favorite comedian, I think. Because at that time, because I was like, his show was the best show, the Chappelle Show. And his writing is top tier. Okay, top tier. So I would watch everything by him. But I noticed that I wasn't laughing as much. Like the laughing part. I wasn't laughing as much.
On the stand-up or on the show?
On the stand-up.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, yeah. On the show, I'll be laughing.
Okay.
On the stand-up, I wasn't laughing as much. Then now, I didn't care though, because the comedy is so intellectual.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's so intellectual that it's like, it doesn't matter if it makes me laugh or not. I get it. And to me, you're one of the best ever. So he had a stand-up thing, I think at the Laughing Room or something like that, or
up here in Toronto.
I don't know if it was up here in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
But or Laugh Factory maybe, and it was like online. It was like an 8-hour thing or something like that, or 6-hour thing.
Sure.
And he's just there trying material.
Okay.
Right? But I'm watching it. And I watched it from time. And then he's doing Just for Laughs in Montreal.
Wow.
And I don't live far from Montreal. So I went to go see Dave Chappelle.
I've never seen him live. Good for you, bro.
So I went there. I said, okay, you know what? I'm either going to see Bill Burr or Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
Dave Chappelle was the one that was available. And I'm like, this is once in a lifetime, maybe.
Yeah.
So now I go with my cousin and we go there. And when I go to the comedy show, Donnell Rawlings was opening up.
Ashley Larry.
And Ashley Larry, actually, he's got some of
Get the fuck out.
Straight up. You could go to my Instagram and see. You'll see him with my product.
Ashley Larry with shea butter.
You can't keep him ashy, bro. Not when there's Superior Salutations.
I'm showing that picture once.
You have to. Okay? Now, Donnell Rawlings killed me. I was like dying of laughter. When Dave Chappelle came on, I knew all the jokes because I'd watched the special. But I wasn't laughing as much.
Okay.
I wasn't laughing as much.
Okay.
And
so he was working out for that show.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But I seen all the jokes and I was like, So now in retrospect, when I seen how he got canceled for a second and then he came back, his latest specials are amazing.
Oh, crazy, man.
But again, the gut-wrenching laughs I didn't get from Dave Chappelle. So that's why he's not on my list.
I noticed, because I know what your number 1 is. But let's go ahead with your number 1. Go ahead.
What do you think my number 1 is, bro?
No, go ahead, bro.
My number 1, Patrice O'Neal. Baddest man.
My God.
The baddest man.
Crazy.
Unfortunately, he passed early.
Yeah.
Because they gave him his break late.
Yeah.
And his things are the baddest things.
Yeah.
When you go back and look at all of this stuff from the before.
Yeah.
You remember the one he did on the Nasty Room? Was it the Nasty Show?
Nasty Show.
Bro!
Yeah.
Bro! The Spider-Man?
Yeah. I know Patrice O'Neal, bro. Patrice O'Neal, yeah, like you said, sadly, he's gone.
Patrice O'Neal to me is the top tier.
Yeah.
And I know that
not a lot of people know Patrice O'Neal, though.
They do. You know why they know him? The Charlie Sheen roast.
Okay.
Because of the Charlie Sheen roast, he got a whole big fan base.
Yeah.
Because he went on there and killed.
Yeah,
he killed. To call Captain Kirk an asshole.
Yeah.
You remember that shit?
Yeah.
You're an asshole, Captain Kirk.
Patrice has one of my favorite specials of all time. The
Elephant in the Room of all time.
Of all time.
Of
man.
all, bro. I don't know if there's a better special than that.
It might be the best special. It might.
Name one better.
I'll mention it with my number one. I
can't say everything. And then he has a thing with Opie and Anthony. You don't know that there was I guess a podcast or a radio show
back in
called
that time.
Opie and Anthony.
Okay.
And so he'd be on the show, like satellite radio or whatever.
Oh yeah. I've seen this.
It might as well have been stand-up, bro.
Yeah. He's sharp, man.
The whole thing is him just smashing down people all day.
Yeah.
And
But you know what's funny about him and Corey Holcomb? They're kind of similar, and Bill Burr they are kind of similar in that kind of way.
Now, Corey Holcomb said on his show that at one point him and Patrice had an interaction. And Corey Holcomb was the guy who said, "Patrice, just fucking do your thing, bro."
To influence him to just go raw and stop holding back.
Yeah, but I can't say which is true or false. I don't know if that happened with Corey or if that happened with Patrice. I don't know. But they're very similar. They're very similar, and hence they're my number one and number two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My number one, and I'm going to say that this special is my favorite special of all time that this stand-up did. Eddie Murphy's my number one. Eddie Murphy, I think
he's not on my list either.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy, I think, is probably the
Delirious.
Not Raw. Delirious.
Delirious is my favorite. That shit was shit.
Right. So, and I watched that growing up in the 90s. I know it probably came on the 80s, but I got on it when
90s. No, that was 80s. That was 80s.
It was 80s.
That was 80s.
Yeah, because it was Michael Jackson and Mr. T and them kind of jokes, right? I could repeat that whole special verbatim. Literally. Me and my cousin watched that a million times and laughed at the same parts. Eddie Murphy's a man just like Chappelle. He was doing it from he was a young kid, 13, 14 years old from SNL and all that. His stand-up, Raw. I didn't enjoy Raw as much as Delirious, but still.
Raw was wicked.
Amazing.
Raw was wicked.
But I love Delirious.
How many stand-ups did he have?
He had those two, but he was doing stand-up and he had stand-up material on record from before.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy I thought was... Eddie Murphy's in the honorable mentions. For sure.
You, but to me, Eddie Murphy is my comedian, bro. He's my stand-up. He took into the style, he took like Richard Pryor a little bit of the, the Richard Pryor white guy voice and all that. He kind of, but with his own style.
I can't knock that as a number one.
Yeah, man.
I can't knock that as a number one. It's just that, for me, it's what's making me have the gut-wrenching belly laugh.
Oh, Eddie Murphy.
So you see with Delirious, I had the gut-wrenching belly laugh.
Oh, boy.
Because the things he was saying, I was a kid listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that stuff's outrageous for a kid. But for me as an adult now, hearing what it is, because I'll listen to all these things over and over again, and I'm like, yeah, you're good. But Corey Holcomb and Patrice O'Neal speak to me.
Yeah,
they speak to me. So anyway, I have to give you props. You had a good list. It was a good list. We might be somewhere like, you know what I mean?
Let's do the honorable mentions, man, because it's my approval of who wins comes from the comments, not you.
God.
I'm not asking my competition for who's winning.
Okay.
People, get into the comments and tell us whose list was better. All right? So this guy keeps running about 4
honorable mentions.
Oh, come on. We have enough of these honorable mentions.
Not enough of them.
What you got?
So I have Eddie Murphy in there for sure.
Okay.
Who you got?
I have a comedian named Jim Gaffigan.
He's good.
Jim Gaffigan is probably the cleanest comedian. That man doesn't give not even a damn. He doesn't even say damn, but the way he writes is hilarious, man. A lot of food jokes and a lot of
I have to give you that.
Maybe. Yeah, he's clean, man.
Maybe.
He performed for the Pope.
Yeah. You see, like I think he's really good.
I think he's amazing.
I think he's really good.
Yeah. Who else you got?
Completely polar to that. Doug Stanhope.
I'm not really familiar with Doug Stanhope.
Okay.
Is he that angry dude that's always depressed about his life?
And his mom, and he sent his mom and blew up his mom because it's like, okay, that guy, his stand-up is the darkest. He's dark, man. He's the smartest dark guy I've ever. That guy had a joke where he goes something like goes, yeah. So I can't remember exactly what it was, but he goes, yeah. I took a Xanax and what's the diarrhea pill? And I took a Xanax and the X-Lax and played chicken in my sleep. I took a Xanax and X-Lax and played chicken in my sleep. I played chicken in my sleep. I took chicken in my sleep. I took a Xanax and the X-Lax and played chicken in my sleep. I'm just trying to show you how shit the new music is. That's like a music chorus. You didn't see what I just did there? And me, I'm just laughing my head. Doug Stanhope is one of the baddest man on the planet for sure.
Okay. He's good. He's good. All right. Honorable mention. And he was close to making my list because a lot of his earlier stuff.
Doug Stanhope was close to my list too.
A lot of his earlier stuff and a few of his 3, 4, 5 specials were really good. Russell Peters. Russell Peters is, to me, a very good stand-up.
Russell Peters is he's Canadian.
Canadian Brampton boy, you know what I mean?
He wouldn't make my list.
Yeah, he was close to making my list because I enjoyed a lot of his earlier stuff.
His early stuff, but it was the same stick.
Same kind of stick, but well written. But the only thing
very well written.
The only thing I didn't like now, he does too much crowd work. He's not writing as much, and a lot of it is just crowd work.
I don't mind.
And it's the same shtick.
I don't
like
mind.
You're saying.
He's 6 degrees separation too, only a couple degrees as well, right? So I have to big him up.
Oh, Russell Peters.
He wasn't on my list of honorable mentions, but I feel bad that I didn't have him there. I feel like I should have him.
He been close to getting on my top 5.
He was on my top 5, but he should be an honorable mention for sure.
Okay, who else you got?
Okay, I got Mitch Hedberg.
Whoa! Dog, you know about Mitch?
I know about Mitch.
Bro.
Mitch Hedberg is one of the guys. One-liners?
Yo.
One-liners?
Yeah, man.
Okay, who's the one-liners that are wicked? You have Jimmy Carr. You have Mitch Hedberg.
Carr's good.
And you have Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, Dangerfield has some. I'm not familiar with a lot of his stuff, though.
Rodney Dangerfield was a guy, I'd watch all of his movies.
Yeah.
No respect. No respect.
And he plays the same character, but I love the character.
But I love the character.
My last, we could do this all day, but my last honorable mention I'll go with, I got to give it to Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac is just naturally funny.
Yep, Bernie Mac.
You know what I mean? He didn't make my list for, you know what I mean? He doesn't really have a lot of specials or anything like that, so I couldn't really judge his work, you know what I mean? So it's like, but Bernie Mac is naturally hilarious.
Naturally.
Yeah.
And my last honorable mention will be Louis C.K.
Boom.
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. is the only white guy I've ever seen get away with saying nigger.
And I don't mind. I don't mind.
Imagine that.
I don't mind.
He's got to be
he's a red-haired white.
He's a red-haired white guy.
He's a red-haired white guy.
And he says nigger in his stand-up, and you probably never even heard of that. It's not a controversy. He gets away with it.
I heard this guy jerked off in front of a girl
What
for
are you talking about?
Okay? And I wasn't mad at him. I was like, yeah, I could kind of see him doing that though. You couldn't see it?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm saying to myself, okay, but you knew, like as a girl, and I'm not a girl, so I apologize ahead of time. See, last time I got out of my seat, this man's out of his seat right now. It was like, the guy said that, the allegation was made that the girl said, yeah, he pulled it out and made me watch him jerk off. And I'm saying to myself,
that seems about right.
That's Louis C.K. Okay, what's the next stand-up show?
Oh, boy.
Weird. Anyway, top 5. See the honorable mention list? We were pretty comparable in that, but you know what my top 5 was this week.
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. And that's that for that. For this segment, I'm taking another little swig. And you took one too, it looks like.
Oh, I'm taking one too.
Okay. Hollywood Shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
This week, we're not talking about a movie. We're talking about a TV show. Okay? I don't know if it's going to have a second season, but I don't know how. But it's called Them.
Them, yeah. So a little bit of a backstory. Fear None called me and let me know, you know what I mean, he's been watching a show and I should watch it so we can discuss it on the program. And I watched the show and you know what? Go ahead. You tell me.
And I told him, I go, look, by the time you get to episode 5, you're gonna have issues, but try to get through it and watch the things.
All right.
Okay.
So let's review it first before we get into that.
Apparently, the writers of Get Out and Us are involved.
I didn't know that.
So the way that it has Us and then Them and then Get Out.
Shit.
Now, if you watch it, it makes a lot of sense, right? Just even those words alone. Us, them, and Get Out.
Yeah.
So it's a black family. I'm not going to give you too many spoilers in this. I'm just going to show you what the vibes are. There's a black family who moves to Compton at a time, I think in the 50s, where there's no black families in that region of Compton, okay? Now, once they move there, the level of racism that they experience is paramount. It's top of the mountain racism, okay? So, you see, it's framed as like a horror flick kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you see like American Horror Story, it's a horror anthology or something, and you have different things happening, different seasons or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Different families, you have the same characters or whatever, right? So in them now, it's not like American Horror Story in that vein. This is only one season.
It's only one family, the same
right?
characters.
One family. I don't know if they're gonna have another season. I don't know.
Yeah.
And if you take this, what I'm talking right now, and make a series like that from this, I want my credit. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is this. In shows like American Horror Story, in movies like Hostel, Saw, Friday the 13th, Hellraiser, all kinds of different horror movies, you see a lot of over-the-top murders and horrible, traumatic things happening to people. So, for me, when I'm watching a show where traumatic things are happening to black people, and it's in the framework of the 50s where the KKK and this high-level racism, Jim Crow, what's the worst that can happen to a black family in these conditions? Well, let me tell you. I think I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it on TV. Okay? I've seen it on friggin' TV now.
Seen it on them, man. That's what it was. That's what the whole show is.
Like, one of my friends told me that he thinks it's black trauma porn.
It is black trauma porn.
Now, I wouldn't go that far. I would say that it is a horror movie or a horror series that chronicles the most horrible things that you could think would happen to a black family in that era. Okay. The most horrible things.
Oh, but
now, the thing that we were talking about that made him stop watching the show.
Yeah, let me say my little piece here. I'll say this for the show. It's on Amazon Prime, so if you have Amazon Prime, you can check it out. The show's called Them.
Why are we bigging them up?
No, I want them to, if you choose to watch. If you choose to watch.
Just play on word, bigging them up. Right.
So as a show, and I'm into videography and all that kind of stuff, man, it's so well done. The show is shot beautifully. The wardrobe, the way they set up the neighborhood, the acting. I don't know who the wife is. She's amazing.
Brilliant.
She's amazing.
Brilliant.
The husband is very good. The children are very good.
Everybody's
very good.
Even the youngest daughter, she's amazing.
She's good as well.
And the eldest daughter, she's from us. She's the daughter from us.
She looked familiar.
She's the daughter from us.
I learned a lot watching the show in terms of some of the edits and some of the cuts, so I did appreciate that part of it. But the black trauma porn definition by your friend, I'm gonna have to agree with, because they frame it as a horror movie. They're using that as an excuse to do what they did in episode 5, and I don't want us to, like, I don't even want to mention exactly because I don't want to spoil it. But what they did in episode 5 turned me off of the show completely, and I believe that. And even online right now, there's a lot of
people have said cancel
the whole
from
thing.
that
From that, and I see it.
Listen, I totally agree.
Okay, all right.
With that sentiment of cancel the whole vibe because of that. There's one reason why. Not because it's not what took place. It's not because it's even the worst things that have taken place.
No, there's worse.
But it exemplifies how bad they have done us.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way where it is the gut-wrenching feeling
damn it
that you feel when you watch that. It's unequivocal. However, that said,
okay,
when you see a person's body sawed in half with like a mill saw that's cutting lumber, and you see the whole body just get split all the way in half.
Okay.
Okay? That's brutal too.
That's brutal, man.
Okay? And there's tons of movies with that. People skinning people, all kind of stuff. So this one's starring black people. And it's as Rich says, it's extremely well done.
So well done, man.
So
as a show, as a program.
Like it's extreme, like that's top.
That's
top tier things. Okay? But as Rich said, they still use this as an excuse to do something that if they had done this with a dog on television, if they had done this with a frog on television, okay? Much less a Jewish baby, a white baby, an Asian baby, an Indian baby, an Aztec baby.
Right.
And Aztecs they're not even here. They would never show this. They would say, you know what? You're not allowed to show this. You have to pay how much million in restitution.
They wouldn't even let them show that.
Bro, before they show it, you have to pay millions in restitution for even having the idea to show this.
What you said was, it just shows the lack of influence and power that
that's what it is.
The black people wield in the world right now.
World.
In the Western world.
No,
right now.
in the world.
Yeah, in the world.
In the world.
Because for them to be able to do that, put that out, show it, and
listen, Asians are the top people. Northern Asians. What they would term Oriental, but that's supposed to be derogatory now. But Northern Asians, I'm not talking about the Southern Asians. Northern Asians do not run the population in North America.
No.
Well, when you put a commercial on TV, they'll check your ass and say, turn that off or we stop producing for you. They put this thing that I'm telling you, if it was a fish, a salmon, and they did it to a salmon, and man, eat salmon. If you did this to a calf, if you did this to any animal on the planet, the organizations would call and say, this show has to be canceled now.
Let me ask you a question now. What is that?
And they aired it.
What does it make you think about? I don't know if this is an unfair question, but what does it make you think about the actors that accepted the roles? Not necessarily the ones that did it, but the black actors. With that episode 5 of the show of the season, there's a bit of a disclaimer. There's a couple episodes you said that there's disclaimers on it, and that's one. And it says that you can actually watch on set. I don't know if you've seen that part.
Look, you didn't watch the whole thing yet.
I haven't watched the whole thing. After that, I was traumatized, man.
I wasn't, because I expect nothing less.
Nah, it doesn't mean I want to see it, man. It doesn't mean I want to see it. It doesn't mean that we accept to see it.
You know what? I chose, after hearing, to watch and see what was so bad. And when I watched it, I was like, that's where you guys, how far you guys have gone? I see what's popping. But you see, these things are like, okay. I know it's desperation. I know it's desperation. You have to go that far. Just like you brought the aliens now. You have to go that far because it's like, hey, we have to show you what we have to show you. But if you continue to watch the show, you'll see that the writers acknowledge the power of the gods and the goddess. They acknowledge the power. Yeah, okay. But as we were talking about earlier, the only way they'll ever acknowledge this power on film is to show you, if there's 100 things they're showing you, they're showing you 95 things that show you as a weak pom-pom, and then 5 things that show you as the god. No, but it shows you as the god in those 5 things. Not as a strong person, strong man. It shows you as the god in those 5 things. But chances are you're probably going to see the 95 things. And remember, Roddy Piper never lost to the Hulk.
What?
Nobody remembers that shit though.
Exactly.
Nobody remembers that shit though.
That was a weird ass
So the
reference.
95 generally wins over the 5.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well,
I know that. You see, listen.
What are we giving it though? What are we giving it out of 10?
9.
Shit, man.
9. You watch that show to the end, okay?
Okay, I have to watch it to the end.
When you watch it to the end,
Okay.
it's like, and possible second season.
Okay.
And that's why I said American Horror Story. If you take my things, I want my royalties. So the way that they framed everything, it's a horror movie about the tragic things and the horrible things that can happen to a black family.
Mm-hmm.
They showed you that. If it was if it was something else, it was some other race, they would say, well, they could have went further. They could have showed you how far. Okay? You know what I'm saying, Rich?
I hear
They
you.
would have said, they could have went further and they could have showed you how far.
Mm-hmm.
This one, they showed you how far.
Did they ever?
Okay? So what I would say is this. There's images in there that I would not want people watching. I would not advise people watching because
You gotta go into
it's trauma porn.
You gotta go in
That's
there
trauma porn.
ready to. You have to expect something like that. It's not something
Okay.
you can happen upon.
But episode 5,
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna say, man, it's so well done though. I'm not gonna be a hater. I'm not gonna discredit their work, even though I know the agenda behind it.
you were talking about the actors. What do you think about the actors?
Everybody was so good, man.
But like, I mean, you're saying, what do I think about people who took that role? Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, now I think that they realize this is there's never been a work like this.
Shit.
There has never been a work like
Yo,
this.
they need to start turning down some of these kind of friggin' roles.
The thing could be like a snuff film level because of that. And it was not a snuff film.
That's amazing.
So it's like, do you want to be part of this thing that's changing things forever or not? You're an actor. What do you like?
I understand. So in your definition, your sister's an actor. So okay, let me ask you. If your sister played the role of the wife,
She would,
over dinner, what are you saying?
she
to her?
would need counseling after that. I think any person who takes that role on and plays it as good as that woman
Yeah,
played
she's
it.
amazing.
And my sister's an amazing actor, so she would have played it as good as that woman played it.
Yeah.
But to play it as good as that woman played it, you will need to take counseling. And you know what? You know how beautiful that woman is?
I seen her. I looked her up after.
I didn't.
Yeah.
In there. I saw her and I'm like,
She's a
wow.
baddie, bro.
You are
Yeah,
spectacular.
she is a baddie.
You're like flawless.
Yeah, she's good.
And there are certain scenes where she looks haggard
Yeah.
because of the way that the mental state of what you're going through right now.
Yeah.
And that's you playing that shit?
Yeah.
Kudos.
So I'm gonna give it a solid 8. I want to go higher, but I haven't watched all of it. I feel like there's a corner that's gonna be turned, but I haven't gotten there yet.
You haven't gotten there yet.
But by the sheer quality, the acting, the cinematography is just breathtaking to me.
I know people are going to be upset that we're telling people, yeah, this movie's out, this series is a wicked series because you want to boycott it or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting you watch it. Don't watch it, is what I'm saying. He's saying watch it if you're.
I know I'm saying, man.
Yeah, but
Man.
yeah, I'm gonna
The
go.
things that you've watched that are garbage.
Yeah, but
You
this-
watch all the Tyler Perry's things.
Oh God.
Man.
Yeah. All right. I'm going with the 8. That's it.
And that's that for that. This segment here, we're doing some superior salutes to companies that we big up and that we appreciate, or individuals that we want to shout out and give maximum respect to. So you want to go first, Culture Rich?
No, you go ahead.
So today, we're bigging up a company and a gentleman that has a lot of prestigious artwork in my store. And he goes by the name of Brother OG.
Brother OG.
And he has things like this inside the store. I've been featuring these things sometimes, you know. But like proper art, all handmade, hand carved, Mac Pre. You look up MACPRI on Facebook, Instagram. He deals with awards, trophies, and ornaments, masks, and decorative items. And Brother OG is a top tier gentleman. He's been in the struggle from the 80s, maybe even before. One of my big bros, as I call him. Not from the same mom, but from the same creative powers. So, Big up brother OG and Mac Pre. Check him out on Instagram. You're gonna put the information at the bottom of the screen here. And you done know what's popping. He's out in Ghana right now. If you need anything that's custom made, I can get it from him, sent up here as long as I'm not stopping the containers. Mr. Ford. And that's what I'm bigging up this week. Much love. Yeah. And you know, we're wrapping up the segment with that. And make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the bell, check out Culture Rich on Instagram, check out my platforms on Instagram and platform and Facebook, etc. And all the social media platforms that are available. And we're concluding another night of Alphamail Mondays. Hopefully we can get it uploaded. I made a late upload. Yesterday. So hopefully we can get this one up soon enough. And that's that. For that. We love you guys.
Love you guys, man, for real. All right.